Welcome back to another episode of the More Muse podcast.
What's happening, y'all? We back, man.
Today we have Tristian Turner, TLS Agency co-founder. Tristian, tell us about TLS and who you are.
All right, cool. What's up, fellas? What's up, everybody?
Appreciate you being on, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I appreciate seeing brothers doing positive things, making moves. So,
absolutely.
Not a problem. But, yeah, like y'all said, my name is Tristian Turner. I founded TLS, I guess, 12 years ago with Cicero Leak. We just had a lot of things going on in the entertainment industry. He had just produced a film. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Welcome to Durham, the documentary. But Cicero had produced that film, and I helped him with a few marketing things. And, the film really took off, did a lot of great things. And after everything's all said and done, his Rolodex was full of contacts in the entertainment industry and various networks and whatnot. And I had been doing a lot of marketing things in entertainment and sports with jobs that I had right out of college. And we just put our heads together one day and was like, hey, we need to figure out how to capitalize off what we have going on. So we decided, ran a bunch of ideas through our head, figure out what we could do. And we started to start a talent agency. There were none that we knew of in the Carolinas, and I was living in DC at the time. There were a couple there, and so we just figured we could make a big splash, do a couple things, and make some stuff happen. And here we are, roughly 12 years later, still making moves. So I guess it was the right decision.
That's really right. So the connection that you guys have and getting started in the entertainment industry, well, getting started with TLS, I should say. Was it formed from the documentary, or
no?
What got y'all together?
So the documentary had been out 2 or 3 years at that time. Okay. And post documentary, there was a lot of work involved. We took it to some film festivals, the New York International Film Festival, Miami Film Festival. We even went to Amsterdam for a film festival. So there was a lot of work post shoot, once everything was edited and cut. He had a few network deals on the table for that. So there was, a lot of stuff happening. And once things kind of died down for that, which was a couple years later, we were looking at different opportunities. I was in corporate America at the time, doing some work in banking, which I really didn't like. I was good at it, but I didn't like it, we were just figuring out what could we do. We both have the entrepreneurial spirit, known each other since high school, good friends, but we figured we were able to do business together as well. Not too worried about following people's advice saying never do business with friends. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's pure bullshit. Let's change that narrative. When people say your friends don't support you in what you do, I mean, as soon as I found out him and a couple of my guys were doing the film, I'm like, man, what do y'all need from me? And they told me what they needed. And I was like, all right, I got you. Let's go. People, I think that's just a terrible narrative right there. Two things: don't work with friends, don't do business with friends. And, we've been able to change that stereotype. So we were fortunate to be where we were, to have the connections we had and know the people we knew. I had been doing tobacco marketing. Like right out of college, I started working for RJ Reynolds Tobacco, doing Winston Cup marketing for NASCAR. And then that transitioned over to some nightlife things. I was one of the only few black people out there at the racetracks on a weekly basis. And the guy who ran the whole program got a promotion, went over to do some nightlife things. And he understood my experience from college. I threw a lot of parties when I was in school at Winston-Salem State. I also worked for Diamond Life Productions, who is, I think, still to this day, the largest concert promoter in North Carolina. They do A&T's Homecoming currently, and I worked for them in college. So I had a lot of connections in the entertainment industry as well. And, we just had a lot of things going on from different avenues, but we were able to just put it all together and make it work for us. It wasn't easy. I won't sit here and just say like, yeah, we started the agency and boom, it was on and popping. I mean, shit, we still have some tough days right now, several years later, but we still rocking it out, doing what we do and making it happen.
That's real. I'm glad you touched on it a little bit, because Especially in the Black community, you don't hear white people saying don't work with your friends. They work with their friends every day. Start business with their friends all the time. You hear a lot of that in the Black community, and it's not fair. Let's just be real. The shit is not fair at all. It's stereotypical, and it kind of brings the community down as a whole because we don't have the money ourselves to really kind of put stuff together, but we have the ideas, and that's really what holds us back a lot. I'm glad you mentioned that.
It might have been the white folks spreading that rumor,
That's facts too. That's facts.
They always behind it.
People sit there and say there's another rumor: Black men aren't in their families' lives, in their children's lives and stuff. But the CDC put out a report a few years ago showing that we're the most involved. So where did that stereotype come from? Come on, man, stop the madness. Nah, Black men are doing dope things. We've been doing dope things. It's just throughout history, every time we got dope shit going on, it got chopped down. Y'all are in the Raleigh-Durham area. I'm sure you heard of Black Wall Street, and them running the highway right through the Hayti community fucked all that up. I grew up in Texas, and I'm very familiar with Black Wall Street. I was in Galveston, Texas. And same thing there. They shut that shit down not far from where I grew up in Oklahoma. We know Greenwood and that Black Wall Street. Things always get fucked up. White folks, just at the end of the day, they've been at the forefront of making a lot of things fucked up for us. Not saying I have anything against white people. I got something against evil white people. And I have no problem saying what is in the situation. And yeah, it might have been them that started that rumor and put it in our head saying, nah, don't work with your friends. Yeah, what? Huh? Yeah, so.
Because they know us and our friends are powerful.
That part.
Right. It's kind of where we hope to be, where you are successful. And that's literally what I pray every day. Like, I don't want anything to go bad in a business, friendship, relationship. Right. So, I mean, for y'all to be able to maintain that for all these years, that's super dope. And to show people that it can work and that, it's possible if you just got the right mindset, if you're doing it right.
Yeah. So the three of y'all were friends before starting the podcast, I take it.
Yeah.
How long I known y'all, man? It's like what, 3 years now? 3-4 years?
Since my freshman year. I've freshman year of college, and I've been out for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's been a little minute now.
That's what's up. I think working with friends is in a lot of ways a benefit because you know each other on a personal level, and there's been several times we've cussed each other out. Me and Ro. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we fought before. We like brothers, and it ain't been about business. We've cussed each other out about business, but we never fought over business. But yeah, we've had fist fights before, and just knowing that, bam, we can pick up the very next day like ain't shit happened and keep it moving. That makes it easier in business. So something going on, he don't like, or vice versa, we can pull each other's collar and let them know what's up. And it ain't no hard business at all. Ain't nobody going to HR be like, oh no, he was cussing at me. Man, fuck that, man. Pick it up and keep it moving, bro.
That's real.
That friendship communication.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, so let's get into. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. I was gonna say, why would you want to, do somebody dirty and y'all been starving together at times, like that type of thing.
That's facts.
You build up together. So that's crazy. That's
together, we're gonna eat together.
That part. Right. We can go together further together. That's what they say. So.
Hey, so just getting into TLS a little bit. You guys represent people like Fantasia, April Parker Jones, Farnsworth Bentley. You know what I'm saying? Big names. I can go on for days. Like, so what is the key to actually getting those people and maintaining those relationships?
Wow. We have never signed anyone just cold where it's just been like we don't know them and they don't know us. That's never happened to us. It's been a situation where we've met folks, got to know them, and then it's worked out. Like Cicero and April have known each other since high school. Fantasia's old manager and me had known each other for several years before we started working with her. We just had relationships. Kid and Play were our first clients, and Play narrated the documentary, Welcome to Durham documentary. So it was a previous working relationship there. So we're fortunate that it happens that way. I'm not saying like we're the best of friends with any of our clients. Not at all, but just to know folks or know someone that knows them. That's always been something that's worked for us. We have no problems picking up the phone and going after someone. That's definitely not a problem either, because that's pretty much how we went after Fantasia. It was like, yo, wait a minute, she doesn't have complete representation. Let's work this out. So that was kind of like, yo, bam, bam, bam. That was knocking on the door hard to make it happen. Because, she just doesn't want to work with anyone. But, it's been an interesting ride for us, how things go about, how it happens. And now we're at the point where we get a lot of emails from folks looking for representation. Hell, I hate to admit it, but there's a lot of emails we don't even have time to read that come into our info box. And I feel bad because it may be some good business in there, but we're just not, we don't have the bandwidth currently to just take on a ton of new clients and to really go through every single opportunity that comes our way. But the people on our roster, we feel comfortable with, we have a good relationship with, and it's been a pretty cool experience, and definitely have learned a lot too.
Sound like to me y'all need some interns.
We have
hands around here.
Yeah, we definitely have interns. Actually, I'm going to hire a summer intern today. I'm going to call a young lady back this afternoon to let her know that she got the summer internship. So yeah, we
super dope
as well. They go through a lot of the DMs and emails for us too. So that's been cool. That's a good way for people to learn. So we got a lot of people that are trying to come into the business, and I'm like, yeah, go through these 150 emails, and if you see one that looks promising, let us know. You come back with some junk, I'm gonna let you know that too, so they can learn how to try to decipher what is viable and what isn't. So it's cool. It's a cool situation.
Do you have any artists or musicians signed to your label? Signed to your agency?
Besides Fantasia, make sure I'm not missing anyone. Because I'm not gonna lie, I will forget a client here and there just because of how we handle the business. But no, not really. We're not the pinnacle when it comes to music artists. We help people do things outside of the music per se. We can help get them booked for shows and stuff, which some of my friends who manage artists will act as booking agents for their artists quite regularly, but that's just not our forte. And so I honestly can't think of any other musical artists we currently represent. There have been a couple in the past, but currently nobody full-time on our roster. But yeah, we have relationships with a lot of artists though, definitely.
Okay, that's what's up.
And Kid and Play are music artists, but they're not making new music, so
right.
More as actors and show hosts and things like that. So
what does it take to seal a deal for people like that? You know what I'm saying? They're high names. They got big people calling them, big companies calling them. How do you seal that deal for them to get a job or a gig?
Man, a lot of grace, because for every deal that goes down, there's a couple of hundred people that could have been in those shoes. I don't care how big the artist is. For every movie that Denzel is in, you could sit and imagine somebody else being in that role. They may not have done it as well, but you can imagine Will Smith taking Denzel's place in Equalizer or something of that nature, So even with the artists we represent, we're very thankful that those opportunities come. So we just grind really hard to make it go down. When a studio hits us up for instance, and they have interest in putting April in an upcoming show, we do everything possible to make sure that deal goes down, one, and make sure that our artist is protected. So it's a lot of work. It's we wish it was just cut and dry and easy, and it's not. But we just figure out, hey, we know what the artist's needs are, what the artist's wants are, and then what the studio's wants and needs are. Come to a good meeting spot and make it happen. So yeah, it's work. It's work. I wish some of the deals were as simple as a phone call and it's like, bam, you're hired, but it ain't never. Not the funny thing is, people tell me, oh shit, it can't be that hard. I'll be like, y'all might look at our social media and think it's easy, but we're not posting us sitting on the phone for 3 hours or in front of a computer sending 80 emails. We're not posting. Nobody want to see that shit on social media, So of course we only post in the celebrations, So yeah, but there's a lot of work that goes in between those posts.
Absolutely. I like to hear that because honestly, I have aspirations of being a talent agent, mainly a sports agent. But I mean, I'm willing to do all of the above. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something people need to hear because they just see the celebrations, like you said, and they think it's all sweet. But no, it ain't like that.
It's work. It's work.
Maintaining a relationship. Yeah. That shit tough.
Yeah.
I think people assume that anything in entertainment is like arts, everything, you know, arts and all that is just easy or, you know, just comes easy. But it's actually a lot of work behind the scenes that you don't see. Like you might see the video, but all the pieces, down to the caterer, like everything for that video, like it takes a lot to put it together, just like you were explaining for booking an agent and things like that.
Actually, let's jump ahead a little bit. Let's just talk about HBCUcon because you and Cicero Leak and Chuck Stinson, I believe, were just making moves across the board at TLS. So let's just talk to me about HBCUcon and what you got coming up with Chris Paul and his academy.
Okay. So yeah, everything's still in the working stages. You know, just as a little bit of transparency, COVID has slowed a lot down. Thank God that things are opening back up and we're able to make moves and pick some stuff back up and get going. But that's our main point of concentration right now is understanding what Roy Cooper is going to do in North Carolina with COVID rules. Like, okay, he just opened this up to 50% capacity. Is that going to remain the same? You know, because we have two things that we need to be sure of, that we're following all laws, whether they're state, county, city, NCAA, CIAA, SWAC, whatever it may be. We want to make sure we're following all laws and mandates. And then we want to make sure that we're protecting the participants, the student athletes, the coaches and trainers that are being involved and everything of that nature. So it's twofold. So, you know, that's a big hurdle to overcome. And that's something that we've been really working towards getting over. But I mean, we're not going to totally get over it because COVID ain't going nowhere for a minute at least.
Right.
And so we're working towards getting that done. So the HBCUcon itself is going to be a great time for basically the all-stars of HBCU basketball, men and women, to come together, receive some training from NBA trainers and NBA coaches, also we're working to get a couple of retired NBA players there as well. We can't have any current NBA players there because with their current schedule, in June, basketball is still going to be going on, and a couple of guys that we're hoping to get there still going to be in the playoffs too. So, you know, so that can't happen. But there will also be panel discussions where they can talk about the business of sports as well. And that'll be something that we're working on getting open to students as well. But like I said, capacity and things like that are an issue. So, you know, we're looking at different online opportunities as well. But we want them to be able to understand, like, hey, you have opportunities here to possibly get to the NBA, the D-League, play overseas. There's so many different opportunities overseas, and the money is good. There's opportunities in coaching and reffing. Refs make a nice chunk of change. People
don't make some bank, man.
Yeah, they make some money. And a lot of those refs played college ball, men and women. You know, and that's instills their love for the game. There's opportunities to work with different companies in their marketing and sports marketing department. So, you know, we're bringing these student athletes together to not just enhance their basketball skills, not just give them a spotlight, but to talk to them about all the opportunities that are available to them. And so that is the big part. And like I said, if all goes well, it'll be something that's open to HBCU students as well to talk to different companies about various opportunities as well. Because, I mean, not only do we want to shed the spotlight on the athletes and who are student athletes, but we want to shed a spotlight on the students. I think back, like on myself, when I graduated in the 90s, I was fortunate that I had met some people from RJ Reynolds. You know, like I said, I went to Winston-Salem State, and I never thought about the fact that the city and the cigarettes had the same name, the Winstons and the Salems. You know, I'm not thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And on my internship, I stay in close contact with the guy who's my boss, and not long after I graduated, he's working at RJ Reynolds, and he's like, hey, we might have an opportunity for you over here. But everybody doesn't, it was like, that just fell in my lap pretty much. Right. One of my professors, he only taught one class at Winston-Salem State. He worked full time at RJ Reynolds in the sports marketing division too. And I was like, wait a minute, what? So I called him up. His name was Tim Duncan, ironically. He's the athletic director at University of New Orleans, I want to say right now. We can stay in touch. But I was able to reach out to him too and say, hey, look, I found out about this opportunity. I'm going to be applying for it. He put in a word for me. My old boss from my intern put in a word for me. But it was that type of opportunity that so many kids at HBCUs don't get. But a kid at Carolina, their alumni network is a lot bigger, and they like reaching out left and right, making stuff. So we all, we don't want to just put the athletes in the spotlight to say, hey, NBA talent scouts, look at this guy. European League basketball scouts, look at this young lady right here. We want to also say, hey, McDonald's, this kid is brilliant. You need them on your marketing team. Or say, Bank of America, you need this person in your finance marketing team, whatever it may be. So we want to highlight the athleticism as well as the brilliance of the students, and start a really good networking portal too, because it's a cliche, but I've lived by this shit. Your network and your net worth are damn hand in hand. And,
hand in hand.
And if I can't do shit else, I can network. I know how to network. So, I might not be the smartest person, but you're not gonna out network me. That's not gonna happen. So definitely.
I like that, man. I like that. So give me an exclusive. What athletes do y'all have coming out?
Honestly, can't divulge that information because we don't have the release and the contract signed. I really wish I could. My cousin played basketball at Tennessee State with Robert Covington. So we did reach out to him, but he's with the Trailblazers right now, and they're certainly going to make the playoffs. So he's not going to be able to come. But so there's been a few of the guys though that we've contacted that will more than likely be involved. But I wish I was at liberty to say at this moment. But I don't want something to happen, and then this gets released, and then all of a sudden they're not being a part of it. But it'll be a couple of well-known names within and outside of HBCU circles involved in HBCUcon. We're hoping to make the announcement pretty soon.
So does Chris Paul plan on? Well, he'd be in the playoffs, so of course he probably wouldn't be in attendance. Right. So do you plan on having fans or anything? The socially distanced fans?
Yeah. So as of right now, we are going off of North Carolina guidelines, and I think y'all just had an update down there. I'm in and out of North Carolina sparingly. I'm in Jersey right now, but I want to say y'all at 50% capacity.
Yeah, we outside, baby.
Okay.
We outside with it a little bit.
Yeah. So we're looking at also doing 50% capacity. So we can. The indoor gym holds 300 and some change. So we're looking at just over 150. Been involved, but that also includes players and staff. So it's going to be pretty interesting. But the cool thing is all this will be streamed and will be available in capacity. I'm not sure how familiar you all are with HBCU Game Day. But if you ask me, they are the go-to leader in all things HBCU sports. They broke the Dion story going to Jackson State first, things like that. ESPN has credited them with some of their news pieces a few times. They got a credit in the Why Not Us documentary that Lavelle Moten is in. So they will be involved. They're our clients, and they have 2 shows on the Aspire Network, and then a 3rd show that they produce on the Aspire Network. So they are fully immersed and involved in this. So the coverage is going to be dope. We know that these guys know how to cover HBCU sports. They know all the key players and everything. So even if we're not at full capacity, which even at full capacity, we can only get so many people inside the gym. We have that opportunity there. So I am it's cool that I can say HBCU Game Day will be broadcasting or streaming a lot of this stuff right now. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be super
might
dope.
have to be part of that 150.
Hey.
Slide out the winds. Hey, so
the ladies basketball Winston-Salem State called me a couple of weeks ago, and she's a good friend of mine. We went to Winston-Salem State together. It's dope. She played hoops there, Coach Samuels, and it's dope that she's back as the coach. You know, I think that's real cool. We both had the same major, so we know each other pretty well. But she hit me up and she was just like, "Yo, you know, you gotta look out for him." That wasn't the reason why she called me, but she threw that in there too. So yeah, a couple of people like, "Yeah, you know, y'all gonna take care of me, right?" I'm like, man, I don't know what anybody else looking like, but my list getting kind of full. Like this.
Hey, that networking, man.
Yeah. So, but back to your original question, as far as Chris's involvement, I honestly can't say. I wish I could be like, he gonna try to drop in for a day in between games and shoot right back out or whatever. I honestly have no idea what he may be doing. His team is pretty involved with what we're doing. But as far as I can't say, but if he shows up, I hope he brings me a pair of those exclusive Winston-Salem State kicks that he wore last year and that dope jacket he had on All-Star Weekend. So, you know, so if you watching or any of your sisters, whatever, yeah.
Hey man, so let's just talk about TLS and what you expect to see them in the next 5 years.
All right. You know, we are really pushing for our sports division, which we just launched earlier this year, to be as big as our talent division. Sports is something that all three of us, me, Ro, and Chuck, all have a passion for. And, you know, we look at so many of the athletes today that are represented by old white dudes. And I'm just like, man, this shit gotta stop. Like, come on, man. Let's try to keep this money in the community a little bit longer. And so, we're going to be pushing things in our sports division to make that happen. You know, and not just getting contracts, but, you know, off the court and off the field deals as well. Getting their marketing and branding going. Those are things that I'm heavily involved in. And, you know, just really pushing that. And, you know, we want to be in the conversations with the big guys, you know, with the IMGs and the Clutch Sports and, you know, those people. So we really feel that we can get there. TLS, we've been fortunate as a talent agency to get some really good pub, end up in Black Enterprise a few times. I want to say we've been in Hollywood Reporter, a few newspaper publications, things like that. And that just doesn't happen to a small Black talent agency out of North Carolina. We're not in LA, we're not in New York. And we have no plans to move our headquarters to LA or New York either. You know, with me basically living in New York, live in a suburb of New York most of the time. And that's good enough. I'm out in LA every few months. And so, you know, we feel like we can do it our way and not the traditional way and make some real things happen there. But I think that you'll see our sports agency mentioned with the big guys. So, you know, see NBA count something like that, and they're talking about such and such signed a new groundbreaking contract. You know, we want to see a picture of Chuck when they say, you know, orchestrated by his agent Chuck Stinson. That's where I think we're headed. Give us our time, give us our 5 years, and that's where we'll be.
So yeah, that's super dope.
I like it.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy OG Cook, co-host of More Music Podcast, sponsored by Smoking Lips. Now, I rock with Smoking Lips heavy, and let me tell you why. You can get custom ashtrays or rolling trays, or you can simply choose a pre-made product that's already on the website. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor, and do Smoking Lips a favor, and follow them on IG at smoking_lips. Visit their website at www.smokinglips.bigcartel.com. Tell them that your favorite podcast sent you over. And yes, before you ask, you do have to support Cadet Black.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you some questions. You got like 5 seconds to answer.
Oh,
it shouldn't be nothing. It ain't gonna be nothing. Off the wall questions.
I just finished working out, so I ain't been drinking or smoking or nothing. So I think I'm all right.
All right. So if you had to choose one, would you pick hot or would you pick cold?
Hot.
Okay. If you had any athlete, musician, or actor to choose to sign with, who would you pick? Anybody in the world?
Prince.
Okay. If you had to do one workout every day for the rest of your life, what workout would you pick?
Whew. The row machine. I hate it, but that thing gets you right.
Yeah, get you right.
Full body, baby, full body.
Okay. If you had to pick one pair of sneakers to wear for the rest of your life, what pair of shoes would it be?
Oh, dang. The original running Huaraches. The original.
Okay, the originals.
Yeah.
Who do you say your top 3 NBA of all time players are?
Oh man, Clyde Drexler number 1.
Okay.
Number 1.
I like that.
Before I moved to North Carolina, I lived in Houston, and my best friend growing up, his older brother and Clyde were best friends. I didn't even know Clyde was a basketball star because they were so much older than us. I was only like 5 or 6 at the time. And I saw him on TV, and I was just, what the hell? Clyde on TV? He was at the University of Houston. I've been a huge Clyde Drexler fan ever since. And my friends had a pool, and we'd be in the pool, and his older brother and Clyde would be in the pool. I had no idea that this dude was about to be an NBA superstar, like none of that shit. You know, he was just so cool, always. But yeah, that's my favorite NBA player. Followed by Earl the Pearl Monroe, you know.
Okay.
And Winston-Salem State, baby. Winston-Salem State.
Do it back.
Right.
Yeah, and then Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay.
He don't get his just due, man.
Nah, he don't.
Man.
Best footwork out of a big man
ever. So.
I like it. I got one. If you had 5 dinner guests, dead or alive, who would that be?
Oh wow.
You and 5 other people.
Me and 5 other people. Well, me and my wife for sure. Yeah, but that's easy. So if she see this, I got some brownie points. Prince. I mean, I've never met the dude, but I think he's just a dope individual all around. I love to just pick his brain and talk to him a little bit. Malcolm X. How many is that? 3? So
yeah.
Man, people keep leaving Michelle at home, man. That's crazy. Every time somebody give Barack, they don't say Michelle.
Every time. Bad package deal though.
You're right.
Michelle dope.
All right, man. Tristian, thank you so much for joining us today for this episode. Make sure y'all follow TLS Agency. Let us know how we can find you on social media.
Oh, that's easy. Everything is almost the exact same, thank God. So Instagram, Twitter is both at TLS Agency. And then we have the sports. So Instagram and Twitter for that is at TLS Sports. And then Instagram and Twitter for HBCUcon, both the HBCUcon. And you can find us on Facebook just with our general names. And we're starting to get TikTok up and running because that's where the young folks are headed. And they'll have the same handles as well. But yeah, definitely follow us. My personal is Tristian TLS. So, keep the branding popping.
Absolutely.
So, all right, thank y'all for tuning in. We out.
Peace.